So going into week two, our theme is based on consistency. Consistency is something that's big, very, very, very important in regards to us achieving our goals. Consistency and discipline is key. So before we dive deep into consistency, I want to play two short videos just to kind of get us wrapped in the mental of consistency.
Dreams without goals remain dreams, just dreams, and ultimately fuel disappointment. Dreams without goals, yearly goals, life goals, daily goals, monthly goals, hourly goals, minute by minute goals. Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. You understand? Between goals and achievement are discipline and consistency. Dream.
Got one more for you.
The key is to get momentum and keep momentum. If you work your tail off to get momentum going and then you drop it, oh my God, you got to start all over again. And so the way you do that is you have a daily practice. It's not like, years ago I went to a seminar by Jim Rohn and then my life was perfect. It's like I kept immersing myself in all these things, but I also made sure each day I was making some form of progress. The key is to get momentum and
So the reason why I showed those two videos, because of course, consistency, that's one of the only ways that's going to help us achieve our goals, through discipline and through consistency. So we want our tasks to be specifically devoted around being consistent, because I feel like, in regards to a lot of our journeys, whether this is something that you've been doing for quite some time or whether this is something that's new to you, a lot of people, when it comes to, building that momentum or getting out of what they're normally used to doing, that's where they fall short at. Whether it's eating healthy, which is the main thing, that's the main source of us reaching our goals, is the food. Coming to your workouts on a regular basis, doing stuff on the outside, eliminating old habits that we're so used to doing. And once we build that momentum, it becomes a way of life, and it's not just something that we kind of dread doing, but it's more so just a way of life. So basically the lack of consistency is the reason why a lot of people, they don't reach their goals. So if you're already making progress, we're in week one right now, and the basis and the theme of week one is goal setting. So if you're someone who has set goals from last week and you're on the verge of actually accomplishing those goals, you are consistent throughout this week, and that's what's going to build momentum in order for you to be successful going into the additional weeks. So start off slow. This is a journey for each of us, and we're not going to be perfect going into week one, week two, etc., even the first couple of months, but it's all about building a block every single day, and before you know it, you'll build a house. So it's just about taking one step at a time, and if you become successful within week one, you set specific goals, even if it's a small goal, if you actually achieve it, that's going to build momentum going into additional weeks. So just remember, start off small and then just build from there. Why consistency matters. Krista?
Yes, that was good, Coach. Thank you so much. Guys, real quick, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if you feel like you need more consistency in your life, in any area of your life. Drop a 1 if you feel that way. Okay. Good. Well, that's why consistency matters, right? 1 is because, again, if we're having dreams without goals, we're just setting ourselves up for failure. If we're doing the same thing from our past, limited beliefs, experiences, things that we've either have experienced in a lifetime, if we're bringing those things into our new person, it's not going to work. So in order to be a brand new person, change our lifestyle, transform to make this a consistent lifestyle and maintain it, we have to be consistent. And the definition of being consistent is the act of repeating the same action regularly without exceptions. And a lot of times consistency can seem boring because you are repeating the same actions over and over and over. But the bigger picture is that those actions that you're completing every day, that's getting you closer and closer to your goals. So it matters because one, your success is attached to your daily routine. How you plan your day is everything. How you wake up, if you're getting up early, however you plan to be successful that day, that's what your success is attached to. So it's very crucial that you decide to shift your mind and view your life and your perspective differently so that you can stay consistent or build the momentum, like Coach said, to be consistent, and you'll see those changes over time. It also is important, to continue to have consistency or build that momentum because it attracts the support that you need. You are in this group right now with us because we're all supporting each other. We're all like-minded individuals. We're all striving to be more healthier, whatever your reason is to being, for your health journey. But it's the support that you need. Consistency, we're around the same people who are doing the same thing that builds you to continue to go further. And it builds your self-confidence, right? So when you see that you're, like Coach just said, week one, if you've already hit it ground running, you got your goals down, you're feeling good about yourself. You're seeing the scale move, you're feeling good, you're staying focused on your meal plan, you're following the fast metabolism. It's building self-confidence, it's building your self-esteem, and it's building you, like I said, to be that person that you desire to be. And when you're putting in this discipline and this consistency, you're going to get results driven. It's going to be a flow. You're going to be attracting all the things that you desire in your life, and through action and follow through, your consistency will build and you'll have those dreams and goals accomplished. So it's very crucial and important in this season that you really take your consistency up a notch and go ahead. If you're already at one level, take it up to 10x it. That's my new thing. Thank you, Coach. Some ways to grow in consistency is to be devoted and not desired. So a lot of times we have a desire for this, a desire for that, but we never know, okay, for example, I want her body or like her arms, but we don't know what they had to do, how devoted they was to get in that body that they desired to have. They were devoted to any area of your life. We don't know anyone's story and how they accomplished that, but it was more than a desire to get it done. They devoted themselves to it. Even millionaires, billionaires, they're devoted to that thing, that life skill, whatever their hobby is, they're devoted to it and they're giving their everything to it. They're not sleeping, they're putting that work in. So it's very important. That's one way to grow in your consistency, finding that devotion, that passion for it. You want to also plan to fail, right? You want to put in a little percentage that you're not going to get it right every time, but the whole thing is, if you don't, get back up, try it again. You're failing forward. We're not going to sit in and waddle in what didn't happen. Those are our old beliefs. That's what we used to do in the past. So continue to, push through, try again, re-strategize, go back to the drawing board, but plan to fail and know that it's okay, that you're not going to get it perfect on the first try, but consistency, doing something repeatedly over time, you're going to get it right. And fall in love with the process, like really dig in and understand why you're doing this, know your why behind the process of wherever your consistency area that you need to grow in. Fall in love with it, understand there's ups and downs in there, but it's okay. Everything's a learning lesson, and try to take that opportunity to gain some knowledge so that you can help someone else in the past. What we're doing today for ourselves is not for us, it's for someone else so that we can give a testimony to help them through their time. So if you continue to do the same actions, process over and over time, you will see yourself grow in consistency and be where you would desire to be. This chart right here kind of gives a little picture of how we run as human beings. Intensity versus consistency, right? Those short-term goals, like, all right, I signed up for something, I'm hitting it in first week, I'm all in. And then, we get that immediate sense of accomplishment. Yeah, I lost that 10 pounds. And then boom, we back to the drawing board. But kind of like what Coach said, it's that, to me, that yo-yo thing. I'm on track for a couple of weeks, I'm doing good, and then I fall off and then I don't get back on. Now I get back on, it's even harder than it was before. So I choose to just stay consistent so that I don't have to deal with that mental block in my head. So as far as intensity, this is kind of how we look. We in it, we hard. We've seen some goals, we hit some targets, and then now we like, okay, we are drained. What's next? But consistency, you get a balance. Again, you're doing these same actions over and over. It's long-term success. You get that gratification in the it's not a short gratification. And like I said, it creates a compound effect over time. So building that consistency, building that momentum, you may not see it today, but know that it's coming as you keep going. So it's crucial in this time. I encourage you guys, write your goals down, test yourself, push yourself, see what you can do. You're going to definitely be surprised how far you can come.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for that, Crystal. Just to piggyback off you gave some ways to, help with the consistency. I want to give a few more ways to grow with consistency. Now, there are a lot of points right here, but I really want you just to take anywhere from 1 to 3 of these and kind of implement them into your daily habits. I'll also post this in Telegram over the weekend as well. But if there's any of these that kind of stick out to you, definitely, write that down or make a mental note or put it in your phone, and let that help you throughout your, your week or just going forward, period. So number 1 is create a schedule for yourself, a daily schedule. Set reminders, whether it's at on your phone, at home, wherever that's convenient for you. Make promises only if you can keep them. Hold yourself accountable, engage on Telegram. Very, very important. Reward yourself when you get something done. That's big, because a lot of us, we focus more so on the negative and not what we do positive, where we come from, the progression that we've made. So reward yourself when you get something done. Keep going even if you make a mistake. We all make mistakes, like Krista said, plan to fail. This is most definitely a journey. Take time off to recharge. Use motivational tools to keep you going when you don't feel like it. For me, there's times I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like getting stuff done. I will listen to motivational speaking on YouTube, or when I'm working out and I don't necessarily want to work out, that's what I listen to. Or first thing in the morning, I'll pray or listen to my word. It's just certain things that keep me going when I don't really feel like it, because we don't move off of emotions. If you move off of emotions, that's when you'll move in a regular state, in an average state, because not every day you're gonna feel like being great, but you have to go into the mindset of, this is just what we do now. So use motivational tools to keep you going. Give yourself time to see some change. Again, this is a journey. And the next one is set boundaries for your commitments. Personal relationship boundaries. Not everybody's going to understand your journey. So this may not be the time to tell everybody your journey or participate in certain activities or involve yourself with certain people if they don't see the journey right now. And then last one is just eliminate negative thinking. That could tie into, setting those boundaries, right? So if those, just pick 1 to 3, anyone that sticks out to you, write it down, put it in your phone, whatever you need to do to implement that going into the additional weeks. Rashad is going to take the floor.
All right, those are some great points to definitely drive home when it comes to, to grow in consistency, because we all need to grow in consistency in some way, shape, form, or fashion, right? So as far as some of the ways or some of the reasons why we may struggle with consistency, because we all do it in some type of way. It's just a working effort that we just work on every day of our lives or whatnot. So first one, lack of motivation, right? I've even heard a lot of clients that are working out now, like before they even started working out, like the reasons that they, haven't gotten to where they want to be, and that's, let's say, because of lack of motivation. Um, and when you're not feeling that motivation that you need, like Coach D was just saying, you definitely want to find out what it is that motivates you, what provokes you to action. Because when you don't have it, it's hard to keep going. But at the same time, we don't want to depend on motivation, but we do need it sometimes just to kind of get a jump start, keep the motor running, and to persist a little bit more. But when we lack motivation or clear understanding really of the why, okay, what we want to achieve our goals is, we often struggle to maintain, which is our theme, consistency in our everyday approach, right? So lack of motivation is definitely one reason. Now, another reason that we struggle with consistency is time management. So if we are all over the place, if we don't have a schedule, if we don't plan for success, we definitely can't have success. So if we have some compartmentalization going on in our lives and, some intention with the time that we're given, using our time as currency, then we can have a better, chance of developing from consistency, because consistency is just about an everyday effort building towards something for the bigger picture. To build that piece of art, pretty much. So because consistency, it requires regular and consistent effort, which can be challenging, of course, when when we have schedules, certain commitments, certain things that pop up, just life in general, whatnot. And the more we like just put forth effort in our everyday lives and working towards, coming to the gym, being on our meals and everything like that. If we apply that effort, to it, and have that set schedule intentionally, we can build up the frequency enough to where it becomes subconscious, and we can have more consistent success over a period of time. And another reason that we struggle with consistency is just having unrealistic expectations. And that simply is having something in mind and then kind of getting hit with reality and finding out, oh, it ain't like that. Oh, I got to do more than that. Or, just something just because maybe you didn't ask enough questions or you assumed that it would be this way. Looking at this picture down here, like, say you may have expected for it to be just like, okay, I start here, the goal's there. All I gotta do is do this, that, and that, and it's just gonna be a straight beeline to the goal. We would all like and love for it to be like that, but we know that the actuality is so. The reality is that it's a squiggly line. Is that it is a journey of 1,000 miles that takes one step, but it's going to be up and down, left, right. Up, what I'm saying, as far as like the path that we get to there. But the key thing is that if we persist, we gonna always have an opportunity to be consistent. And we become frustrated and discouraged when we set these unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and fail to see the immediate results. It can make it difficult for us to stay and maintain that motivation, um, and consistent, and to be consistent in our approach towards our goals. And lastly, another thing that could be a reason why we don't have or maintain consistency is just the lack of accountability, like we mentioned earlier, and just the feel of failing. Because without a support system, like us as coaches, even as us as Physique Me Please family. Like without us like kind of just working together, speaking with one another, asking a few questions, being involved, it could be very easy to give up on whatever goal you had in mind in the first place, so just being in the right environment, tapping in with the Telegram, things of that nature that can help you just mentally stay in the game, preventing you from staying complacent and really tapping in with your goals. And also, many of us, we may avoid in some ways consistency because of the fear of failure, or making mistakes, or facing rejection in some type of way. Sometimes we don't want to face the truth of stepping on the scale, or getting those measurements or whatnot. We know it's coming, but we know we got to do it if we know, and if we're hitting and missing. So, um, overcome, being courageous enough to pretty much take those actions and not focus on failing, because failing is inevitable in this success journey. So not letting that stop you, but focusing on just the everyday actions and letting the results come to you, so that when you come to measurements and things like that, you already know and have an idea and know that it's not a surprise, because you are consistent with your everyday approach. You know what I'm saying? So, and then going to the next slide here, because the reality of consistency, it's not the above. It's not being 100% every single day. Consistency is definitely not perfection. Consistency is like what you see below. It is multiple data. That's about 8 slots there, and 8 out of 10, what I'm saying, is what is checked off. And consistency is not so much about like say, if you look at your day, like, all right, like, what did I do today, whether you failed or succeeded. It's more so about the big picture, like looking back at your whole week. How did I do for the whole week? How much did I comply with making sure that I plan my meals? How many workouts out of 4 did I attend? You know what I'm saying? How much did I really observe my goals, or say something positive on myself, anything of that nature. But you just want to look back, take an evaluation of yourself. And of course, we do that with y'all as well. But even over your months, so that's why we measure and do these things, as much as we can, so we can be aware of what's going on. So consistency, of course, like you see, is the whole thing is about having that whole, looking back, looking at your whole piece and looking at, okay, like, was I like 80-90% doing good, or did I just do like a few intense weeks out of a month of doing good, right? So that's what it's about. Consistency isn't perfection. Like I said, is perfection is developed with consistency and focus, so that's what we've or some of the reasons that we struggle with consistency. So if you observe some of these things, you can know that, just to recap, lack of motivation, time management or lack thereof, okay? Reasons that we lack consistency, unrealistic expectations, as well as lack of accountability and fear of failure. So yeah, all in all, knowing that the reality of consistency is just about not being perfect, but really just focusing on your day-to-day, being at your absolute best, and continuing that effort on and on until you reach that desired goal.
Love that, Rashad. Love that, Rashad. I appreciate that. And I hope that definitely spoke out to some of you in regards to, a reflection of your current situation or what happened previously. But definitely using some of these tools that'll help us, move forward and be the best that we could be. Going into week 2, of course, we're still in week 1, goal setting and mindset, still work towards achieving those goals. But of course, we have some tasks going into week 2, and I will post this on Telegram. First things first, making sure that in the week 2, we're making our meals a priority, staying within our fast metabolism program. If we're implementing certain things that we spoke about last week, protein powders, et cetera, still do that, but still make sure you're staying within your phases. If we're not at our specific goal right now, our goal weight, we still want to make sure that we're staying within the fast metabolism program. So that's definitely priority. But our first task is we want you to write down something within your life that you want to be more consistent with throughout week 2. You can place your answers in Telegram if need be. If you want to be held accountable for those things, just basically you know yourself more than anybody. So just write where you want to be consistent in throughout week 2, and we're gonna apply some action steps to actually achieve those goals. Rashad, do you want to explain about the action steps?
Yeah, so the action steps, so just for example, so say if you want to be more consistent with attending workouts or burn a certain amount of calories or something like that. So your action goal for you would be, all right, I'm going to jog, run, do one of the video workouts or something supplementally, maybe an extra 2 times this week. Or if you want to even make it more supplementing, like I said, I'm going to just, like I'm going to do more activity. I'm going to walk after I eat my lunch or dinner or something like that, depending on what time you work out during the day. But something that's conducive and very relevant to your specific goal. So say if you lack flexibility, say you want to get more flexible, then we want to make sure that we either stretch more than we do when we come to the gym, attend more classes on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and or book a stress session with me, whatever it may be, but be intentional with what it is. And the only way to be consistent is to, of course, apply the right action to it as well. So whatever that goal is, if you need help with that, definitely let us know. But if you want that extra accountability, you can let us know what that goal is, help you with that specific simple action that you can just apply and start working on for next week.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. The task 2, we're gonna be doing some form of activity, either 30 push-ups or 50 sit-ups every day of next week. Some form of activity that's on top of your workouts. For accountability, we want you to post a video or picture of yourself on Telegram. It's optional. If you want to post it on social media and tag Physique Me, please, you can. But for the most part, just for the accountability, we want you to post your workout, whether it's 30 push-ups or 50 sit-ups. Whether you do the push-ups regular or modified, it is what it is. But we just want you to do some form of activity outside of just our normal workout. And posting it on Telegram, that'll motivate each other, because it may be a time like this at 9:38 and you didn't do your 30 push-ups or your 50 sit-ups, and you get a couple of messages on Telegram of people doing the push-ups. They posted it. That'll motivate you to be like, oh man, I didn't do them. Let me go ahead and get it in real quick. So I encourage each of y'all to participate in this challenge. First things first, making sure the meals are where it needs to be. Write down something that you want to be more consistent with, and the activity, and post that on Telegram. We have a couple of questions that we want to ask y'all, just based on what we were talking about. You can either post it in the chat, you can unmute yourself and answer.